Okay, so it's obvious this year that they reworked the defensive mechanics and the algorithm in such a way where they've opened up more opportunities, especially for the computer to score, and even more so for certain players to showcase whatever skill set or ability they have. And mainly and particularly when you're playing my career, is where you're going to see the majority, or they're gonna kind of ramp it up a lot more in my career, because my career, it has a lot more narrative driven games in it, right? So right here, um, basically you see Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, out of all people, he just watches this man literally just blow by him. He just blows by him. And this is Kawhi Leonard we're talking about. Now here's a switch. This is a typical switch. It's a typical basic switch off the screen. Kawhi Leonard, you actually can see him react to it, so he knows that it's coming. It's not like he just don't even don't see the guy, or is just not willing to react. You see him getting ready to do something about it, to cut the guy off, throw him off, or whatever the hell he's going to do to basically stop the guy, cut him off, get in front of him. But as he's going to get in front of him, you can see him start to jerk or start to tick, right? Like it's not like he's not being, like the game is kind of restricting his movement. Like he's supposed to allow him to get this blow by and score on him, right? This is Buddy Hield we're talking about, right? Look at this. Look at Kawhi Leonard, how he's moving. You see, like he's stuck on something. Like he's not being allowed to move because the game is basically, it's opening up for the offense, right? You will see this especially with certain players when they have their specialized. They have a high level of skill in a certain area. So, for example, I think the video is called skill showcasing, where I talked about Stephen Curry, and basically what occurred in that video was that Stephen Curry, he's at the 3 point line, and I'm trying to close in on him, trying to get closer to him, and you could clearly tell that there was like a protective bubble around Curry. You could clearly tell that my man, he's trying to move forward. I'm trying to get closer to him, but I'm not being allowed to cross a particular threshold because it's Stephen Curry. He's at the three, and the game is trying to put more emphasis on the fact that he's Stephen Curry and can hit threes. So I'm not going to be allowed to really get all up in his face like that in certain moments where the game wants him to score. See what I'm saying? I was playing against the Kings, and I think De'Aaron Fox, he probably dropped like 50, I think. And it's basically because regardless of how I was guarding him, there would be so many moments where the game is basically is literally forcing me, just like what you just seen right here, is literally forcing me to stand there and watch him run past me. Why? Because it's De'Aaron Fox. Now, if I'm actually able to stop him based upon how I hold defense, but if the game wants a particular, if a person has a high ability or skill in a certain area, they'll put a lot more emphasis on it. Not by making them have to work to show that skill, but forcing you to allow that skill to show. So they're basically, they stripped a lot of merit on they stripped the necessity of merit on offense, and from the computer in particular, because you still got to bust your ass and work hard to get everything, no matter how high your attributes are. When you're playing a computer, you have to earn that shit, right? Whereas for a computer, they will force your defense or your teammates' defense to be a bit more relaxed in certain moments against certain players, because they're trying to say, okay, this person can dunk well, so you go for a shot contest. They're gonna force you to go for it in such a way where that person can get the dunk off to showcase their skill, right? You go for you try to reach to steal the ball from Kyrie Irving. You might press the button and your man won't even reach. some crazy shit like that, because that player has that particular skill, and 2K is trying to force that to be shown rather than actually allowing it to be merit based. So that's a major issue with the defense in 2K this year. Besides just the, and you know, that's one thing, but it's just generally poor defensive animations and mechanics in general, right? On top of everything that I just explained, you could just be guarding anybody that just has a slight ability to drive and get a layup, and they will force you sometimes to, or won't allow you to cross over in front of them. They'll force you to hold them from the side, homo, while they're driving to the basket. Right? A lot of things like that where you could, and you're trying to get in front of them, and you should be able to, and the other time you would be, but then in certain moments it's like, nah, he's gonna score this basically. So they're forcing you to play poor defensively, right? But that'll do it for this video. Peace.